The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbb-radio.com.
Hey, welcome to Teed Up with Phil and Cindy. It's show number 12, Cindy. Can you believe it?
We are moving.
And
moving right along, Philly.
We have a remarkable guest on, Maria Braun. Thank you for coming.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you,
Phil and
Maria.
Cindy.
So nice to finally meet you.
I know.
Yes.
I feel like I know you all.
I know.
It's so strange.
Well, we've seen so many of your films and things,
Yeah.
but Maria is a versatile actor, commercial talent, and voiceover artist with over a decade of experience in film, television, and national brand campaigns. Known for a bright, approachable energy and dynamic range, she starred in short films that are screened at the Cannes Film Festival, remarkable,
Wow.
and co-founded the Buffalo-based production company Pan American Film Division. With roots in theater direction, a flair for comedic improv, and a love for storytelling, Maria brings authenticity to every role, on camera, behind the mic, and online, and now at our podcast.
Right
Maria,
here,
welcome.
live.
Thank
Maria
you,
Braun.
Phil.
So tell us, Maria, we have met you. Again, we do a lot of things surrounding the 48, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
yes.
saw your first film, I think, 4 years ago at the 48. You guys,
Which one was that?
You won the 48 the one year, right? About
Yeah.
3 or 4 years
Couple
ago.
times.
You've won it twice in the last 4 years that I've seen.
Yeah.
And you were a number 2 last year.
Oh, last year's
We were,
film,
but we
just
had a
talking
top
about
5
it.
film too.
Right. But
So we were right
Maria's
there with
film
you.
was just, it was so heartfelt. It was absolutely amazing. I was crying in the theater. It was just so touching. And hopefully maybe we can put a link up for,
I'm
it's
sure
in
we
film.
It's in the festival
It's
circuit
in the
right now.
festival, so they won't be able to watch it, will they?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But when they can, it's an absolute must
is
watch.
yes.
For sure. It was
So-
absolutely beautiful.
Tell us, how did you get in the film, and what are you doing? What are you working on, and
Yeah.
where you're at?
You basically said it. I mean, I feel like it happens so much in this community, but it started with the 48.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go back to like when I was a kid making movies with my cousins and things like that. But, I started in, like a lot of us do, in theater in high school. And then I started directing. And that was kind of the cornerstone of what I was doing, was directing theater at a high school for years. And then I started to kind of dabble in the 48, met some people there, and I was like obsessed. And you know how that weekend is. Like, you get in it and you're like, why do I do this to myself? And by the end of it, you're like, I want to do this every single year.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah. So I met some really awesome friends through the 48, probably in 2017, 2018. And we ended up making a production company out of it. And from there, we've kind of traveled the world and started getting into client work. And now I'm really diving into commercial acting for the last 8-10 years. And it's been awesome.
So you, going back a little bit to the 48, you had a couple go all the way to the Cannes Film Festival. Is that right?
Yeah, we had 3 end
Wow.
up there. So it was, I think, 2017 or 18 was Ride of Your Life. So that was the first one that really took off. We ended up selling that through the Cannes Film Festival.
Wow.
Did you go?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not going to
what
miss
was
out
that
on
like?
it.
What was that like? I always see it on TV.
It was wild. It was, I came back from it. Everyone's like, tell me everything. And I just
Yeah.
I had nothing to say. And they're like, was it not good? And I'm like, no, I just can't process it.
Yeah. Or put it into words,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
It was wild. So we had 3 films go. I went twice. So the first time was with Ride of Your Life. That was the one that we filmed on the Carnival ride. I don't know if maybe you saw that, but got a special place in my heart. And we got to see our film screen there, and we got to walk the red carpet.
Oh, my
It's wild because there's so many people there who are really doing the same thing. Young, old, stars, people who are just trying to start out. And it's a real taste of like what the big leagues look like. And it's intimidating, but it also makes you realize like, you're not that far away if you
Wow.
really want to be there.
See, Phil, we're not that far away.
Yeah. Keep it up.
Believe me, I feel far away.
We aspire to go to Cannes.
Yeah.
So how many times were you there?
I went twice.
Wow.
Once for Ride of Your Life and once for a film called To Have and to Hold. We did that through, it's called the 4 Points Film Project. Have you heard of that?
I did the 4 Points
Yeah.
with Kat Martinez, and we sent in. It was called Deception. We did that
Okay.
last year, at the end of last year. I worked
Yeah.
on her film doing that.
Yeah.
And that was a good experience. That one's pretty crazy. That's another crazy
It's
weekend of filming.
exactly. It's a pressure cooker. It's all virtual, so it's like the 48, but it's just an extra day, and it's all virtual. And we actually won that, so that
Wow.
gave us the fast pass to go to Cannes, and that was another wild experience.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Now you've done several commercials. Like, do you travel? Because obviously you do a lot of commercials, right? Like you're a commercial
Yeah.
actor. Can you tell us like maybe some big ones that you've been in? Because I know you've been in a lot.
Yeah. Well, to backtrack, I don't travel that much.
No?
I'm like a 3-hour, 4-hour radius.
Yeah, okay.
And that's because I got 2 little girls.
Right.
Like for me, I would love to travel more, but it's just what's realistic, and that I'm fine with that right now.
Right. Yeah.
I think one of the ones that it's probably most recognizable is I did the Snickers campaign with Stefan Diggs.
I saw that. I saw that one. I saw that. Did
And
you
that-
see that one?
Yes, I
that
did.
was so cute.
That was fun. And
Yeah.
we don't see brands. I mean, we do see brands like that come into Buffalo, but
Right.
it's not often. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just going to throw my hat in the
I did.
ring,
I saw
see
that,
what
yeah.
happens. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, they liked you. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
That has to be so exciting though. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Nervous wreck.
You still get nervous though? Do you still get
Oh,
nervous when you're on
yeah.
set? Yeah.
Yeah. It, up until the moment that the camera's rolling and the first words come out of my mouth, I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. Why am I here? They
Yeah.
think I'm someone I'm not. And then I'm like, no, I've been doing this.
Yeah. You can.
know.
You got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's normal.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people feel that. But yeah, it was wild. And a lot of people ask me, how is Stefan Diggs or how's this person? How's that?
Right.
To me, they're all people.
Yeah.
It's just
You
all
know,
work, too.
they've got an
Yeah.
interesting backstory and
Sure.
a lot more money than I do. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it really is just they're people, and
Yeah.
we're all there to do the same thing.
And you look at it, somebody said, "Oh, I had so much fun on that set." They go, "What'd you think?" I go, "It's just work." I just go, "It's work."
But it's exciting.
It
work,
is.
Phil.
It is when you're there, but when I leave or when I'm going there, I'm just thinking, it's just another job, and I got to go do it. And
Yeah.
I just got to do the best you can.
Yeah.
And just do it. And that's what
Yeah.
I think. And that's why, like they tell you, show up early, be ready, be quiet, things like that. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
And that's the way I like to work it. But
Yeah, there's a little bit of that for me, but at the same time, I there's just like this innate gratefulness of like I get to play pretend.
Yeah.
I
Right.
get paid to play pretend.
Yeah.
And
I
to
get so
me,
nervous though too. I'm always
Yeah.
nervous. Like
Philly's always nervous. He's always nervous. Tell us a little bit about your production company.
Yeah, so Pan American Film Division, we started in 2020. Again, it was kind of born from a group of friends from the 48, and we started realizing like our work's going places. We
Yeah.
were all in it for the same reasons. Like, sure, we want that economic engine, but at the same time, it was like we love storytelling and we just want to do quality storytelling, and we were all in. So we actually signed the papers to become a company March, I don't know, 15th or something, 2020, when the pandemic hit.
Oh, okay.
So it was like,
is that
oh
where
my
the name
gosh.
comes from?
So Pan American Film Division, it's kind of like the heart of Buffalo.
Oh,
We're all
okay, okay.
Buffalonians. We love our city.
Yeah.
But we basically started when the pandemic hit. And we were like, well, this was a really crappy time to do this, but it actually worked in our favor because what happened was a lot of the local theater companies had all these actors that were ready to go with their shows and they couldn't put them up on stage anymore. So we actually had a partnership with Irish Classical Theater and started actually filming their plays as movies, editing them in like movie fashion.
So people could watch them at home.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a great idea.
We did it with Theater of Youth, and that lasted for a while. And it actually gave us like a pretty strong foundation to navigate the pandemic through that we were working consistently. And that was really awesome. And since then, I've pulled back a little bit since having kids, but I still
Yeah.
work freelance with them. And they are the most amazing people in the world. I love them to death. And we've got some clients for commercial work. And
you guys collaborate with a lot of people. I'm just looking at some of the things you
T-Mark
guys
was
do.
one, right?
Yeah.
T-Mark, yeah.
yeah.
Because that audition, yeah. Yeah.
Right, I've seen a lot of
You
that.
saw that, right, Phil?
I saw the T-Mark
Yeah.
one. But yeah, they but you do a lot of collaborations with, like you said, with theater, but also with who else, like sports teams and personalities.
Is that me?
Local. Yeah. That's the phone thing.
I
on
feel
set.
the earth
That's the phone
boom
set on.
under my feet.
I'm like, who's that rude to leave their phone on? It was me.
I thought it was me. I was pretending it wasn't.
But so you've done a lot of collaborations with theater, but also with who else? With I'm looking at you
could
work with
say.
a lot of
Yeah.
companies, a lot of who else?
Yeah. So to be fair, when we talk about Pan American Film Division, a good core of the group came from Pagula Sports Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
So that's where their roots were, and they were working a lot with the Bills, the Sabres, and that was before I came in. So while that's part of the portfolio, those aren't things that I necessarily worked on.
Okay.
But right now, like our major clients are Rich's Foods, T-Mark, Stellar Roofing, which I've been the Stellar Roofing mom in the commercials. I actually have another one
seen
coming
that
up.
one.
yeah, nice.
And just some other clients here and there that pop in and out. So those are kind of the ones that we're working with.
So, like, what was your background when you started this? Obviously, theater in
Like
high
school or
like
college?
things like that.
So I had very little technical training when it came to acting. It was really, I was a high school theater director. I worked on stage crew. And I think the thing that I had to offer was I was just like driven. I met people in the community and I was like, I want to learn. What are we doing? And it really came down to one day, Travis Carlson, dear friend of mine, he's the owner of Pan American Film Division. He put out a call in the community back in 2016. Was like, filmmakers who want to like get together, let's just have a filmmakers meetup. We met at 716 and he just said like, let's do something. And from that day forward, I was locked in. And he's like, oh, you're serious about this? I was like, yeah. And I haven't gone anywhere. He stuck with me. And, you know, things were just born from that. But I was just someone who went to college for English education. I've been an English teacher for 13 years. And I got my master's degree in creative studies. So for me, creativity is something that I have to do, you know, as an artist. Like, you got to let it out or you'll go crazy. So for me, I needed to find an outlet that felt right, and film was something I was always interested in, and I had my first set experience in 2014 and I was hooked. Wow. And that's where I met my husband.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
that's
he's
a nice
he's an
story.
actor as well?
Yep.
Wow.
It's the greatest thing.
Have you guys been booked together
yeah.
as husband and wife?
Oh, all the
Because they're
time.
always looking for that, aren't they?
They're like, wow, you guys have
Philly-
natural chemistry. I'm like, I'm in love with this.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that helps.
Yeah,
That
no,
certainly
and
helps.
it's great. I mean, he doesn't do it as much as I do, but he loves it, and we've been cast many times together. We've got our two little girls who, my 5-year-old has been in commercials with us.
Oh, wow.
And yeah.
It's a family affair.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It-
I love that. I love that.
so you've gone
Bill,
from.
we could be husband and wife
We
in a
could work that
right.
out.
We could pretend that.
We could work that out. Hey,
Am I witnessing
it
something
works-
right now?
if it works on getting the book the gig,
Right,
out,
we could just make
it'll
believe, right,
work.
Phil?
It always works. So you went from that, and I think one of the things that you said is so important. You know, I never did any film or acting, high school, college, nothing. All of a sudden,
Same.
I met, I don't know if you know Bill Kennedy, and Billy got me in to do one film. I started with sending a picture off my phone to be background in Marshall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And from there, like you said, it's like addicting.
You get the bug.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
from there, things just rolled into 2019 man, I ended up doing, I don't know, about 10 background gigs in 2019 alone or something. But but now, like you said, the collaborations in the area, people don't realize how many real filmmakers are in Western New York. And I'm like so surprised by it when I started doing it. We've had quite a few on the show.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing is that all the collaborations and all the people you meet and working with so many people. I mean, that's how I met you through the 48.
Yeah.
The 48 seems to be that
It's the
that
hub.
linchpin.
Yeah.
It is.
For
It
everything, you know, for a lot of people, because
Yeah.
that's where you can express a lot of your creativity, like you said.
Yeah, and it's low risk. Low risk, low
Right.
stakes, and that's what I love about it. So when I have younger people come to me and they're like, how do you get involved? You know, I'll point them in certain directions, but I'm like, do the 48.
Yeah.
get an on-set experience. It might not be your Hollywood-esque,
Right.
kind of experience, but at the same time, you're finding your niche in a low-stakes scenario where there's not pay involved, and it's just do it for the fun of it.
It's so fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
it's a great
obsessed.
experience. Like we've talked about this before. Someone who isn't in the industry or have any experience, like you said, just do anything, right? I mean, like hold the mic or whatever
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
the clapboard, whatever you have to do. Like
Yep.
it's a good for young kids or people who are in theater or whatever to start there. It's a good start for them.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
is a way in the door. And
It is great.
I mean, we've seen just so many different people, and you've probably seen this. These young filmmakers that are around here, and I just can't believe. Well, everybody's young to me, but I'm
Same.
just so I'm just so taken by the talent and the creativity and the technical expertise.
Yeah.
These things are moving so fast,
Oh yeah.
and using these different AIs, and these kids know everything. And it's like, okay, you guys can do that. I'll be the pretty face like I am on this show.
Yeah, he's always the pretty face. So, Maria, what are you working on now? Do you have any writing, any directing coming up?
So I am kind of registered for the 48 indirectly with the team that I worked with last year. I don't know what my role is yet in that. I the last couple of years have kind of been like, I'll be part of it if you need me. And then like last year I ended up directing. Like
Yeah.
it's just, I get sucked in. I have a hard time
Once you're
saying
there,
no.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming up next month. But actually Tuesday, I'm starting a feature film with local Rick Macy. It's called Unsettled. So I'm playing the role of Natalie, his wife, in the film. And it's a fantastic script. I've never worked with him before, but I've seen his work. And he sent me the script. He's like, just think about it. I loved his approach. And I read it. And I'm like, this guy's a damn good writer.
Wow.
And I'm just...
And that's local rate.
Local
here in
indie
Buffalo?
film, yeah.
Wow.
He did a film called Turn Up the Night here a few years ago.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard of Rick too. I've
yeah.
heard his name.
Yeah. And I've had a couple conversations with him at the casting expo or the Actors Expo for Casting Buffalo, and just really love his vibe. And I mean, I think your set experience and your experience on a project is so much driven by the culture that's set. And he's someone that I respect in the sense that he approaches this industry in such a, I don't know how to say it. Like he's a good guy,
Yeah.
a good guy. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to work with him. And so that'll be happening starting Tuesday. And I've got 2 shoot days.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Waiting to hear back for a couple commercials, and we'll see what the summer brings.
Now, when you do a little bit of casting too?
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
a little bit of casting. So can you give any advice to like someone who is going to audition for a commercial or, like what does a casting director, what are they looking for?
Well, I'm one person.
Yeah.
So I'll say what I've experienced.
Yeah,
And I've kind of talked about this, Phil knows, for the past 2 weeks at ALC
Yeah.
Studios. Andrew was awesome and Chris was awesome to let me come in there and talk about what I've seen. And by no means am I a casting director. I will not
Right.
give myself that
Right,
title.
right.
But I've had experience with it and I've been in the room when those conversations are happening. So basically what I've seen is your media's got to be on point. If you're going to have headshots and you're going to send in a self-tape, it's got to look like you put some effort into
Right.
it. Know the basics. Film it horizontally, have a clear background, have good audio and lighting. Like those are the things that still, I'm seeing some people submitting things and they're great actors, but we get lost in the noise and, the kind of those things, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think there's this misunderstanding here that you have to have all this really expensive equipment in order to send in a good tape. I've never filmed anything but on my cell phone in front of a blank wall. And
Yeah.
I've done pretty okay.
Yeah. You've done amazing.
Yeah. But it really is, it comes down to just being yourself. I think, especially in the commercial world, sometimes the things that we're seeing is, I talked about it a lot and Phil can probably attest to it, that when people are submitting for commercial work, especially, and they're doing their slates, it's, hi, I'm this. And it's like, we just want to see a person. We don't want to see robots coming in and like, pretending to be something. Just be yourself, because you're selling yourself as an individual and someone that you're going to work with on set,
Right.
just as much as you're selling your talent. And I think we kind of need to loosen up sometimes and just have fun with it. Really just show ourselves. And at the end of the day, when casting directors are looking at these submissions that come in, there's hundreds, okay, sometimes thousands.
Right, yeah.
You're being compared against all of these people.
Yeah.
Do something unique, because at the very baseline of it all, we're going to see the script read by a bunch of different faces.
Right.
Do something or make a bold choice that's going to set you apart, and within reason, of course. But we just want to see people try things,
Yeah. Not be boring.
Well,
Get that,
that?
Phil?
Don't be
Not
boring.
be bored, Phil.
I'm never boring. I don't think I'm ever boring. But nervous, but never boring.
Yeah.
when I do
Philly's
these
never
things.
boring.
One of the things I was going to say, like when we were doing those things, I think for me,
This was an
and
ALC when Maria was
we were
doing
doing,
class,
we were going through some of these commercial things.
Yeah.
And I've gotten cast, but I've never auditioned for a commercial. I've done like 7 of them. And it's just, I've been lucky. They just said, hey, are you, maybe because I was their last choice or something, you available? Can you do this?
Yeah.
And I didn't have to say anything in any of them either.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
one, the Kaleida Health one. They had me on a treadmill, hooked up to the doing a
Heart monitor?
stress test.
On the show.
So all I do was like run and look like I wasn't going to die on this.
Right.
Did you
Yeah.
pass it?
Yeah. Phil,
You
Phil
know,
Like, I actually
fainted.
found out I had some major issues.
The guy looked at me and he goes, "Man, you're remarkably healthy." And then I told him all the other stuff.
Right,
that's happened to me.
right.
I go, "Yeah, well, at least my heart works." You know?
Yeah.
But I think the thing that I was going to say is when you said let yourself come through, is everybody says like, and no matter what I'm doing, these short films or anything, it's just me, and I think that's the easiest way to do it. Just let yourself come through it. And I don't know, sometimes, you want to throw something in there, but it's all, it's just what's inside you. It's just me being me.
Yeah. Be a presence. You have to show them you want to be there. And I was telling everybody, I said, way back in the day when I was in my dating days, some of the advice I was given was, if they are interested in you, you will know. They will make time for you. And it's kind of the same thing for an audition. If it's this half-assed thrown together something, I'm like, you don't want this, so put that time in and have fun with it.
And I think that's a great advice. Just have fun with it, because they might just see your face for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And say, move on. Let's move on. Let's go. And how much time do they look at them?
Yeah.
So what else do you have going? I mean, tell us more. Do you do things? You're a teacher at school. Do you do things with the school and the kids, and any theater, anything like that?
Yeah. So I did for a while. I'm at Orchard Park High School. I've been there for 13 years. I was producing the musicals there, directing the plays, the stage crew, the drama club. I'm teaching a drama class. So I was really invested in that. That was my life for years. And then I decided to have a baby, and I'm like, this isn't going to work. And it was like I pulled back from that, and then I started giving more to myself. Like, I'm like, what do I want to be doing? And I loved doing all of that, but that's where I really transitioned into film. So right now, I'm teaching a drama class there. I was teaching like a media analysis class where we talk about
what
film.
grade level is that?
10 and 12.
Oh, 10 and, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
I love them. It's such a great age.
It is. It's great.
Yeah. And there's so many people who are like, oh my God, I could never deal with teenagers. And I'm like, what a gift.
Yeah.
You're reaching them at such a formative time in their life where maybe that's not the time where they're open to talking to their parents about all the things, but they're looking for somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I can be that person, like what an opportunity you get it, as a teacher.
100%.
So
Love
I love
those kids.
Yeah. It's amazing. I've been off because I had a baby in December. So I've been off since November. And it's been like the best time of my life. But I'm going back in the fall, and
Going back to
bittersweet,
the grind. Yeah.
bittersweet. But I think I'm, I'll be happy to go back.
Yeah.
See the kiddos.
Get back into the swing of things, right?
Have
And
some
I'm sure the
routine.
kids probably miss you so much. Yeah, they do.
I hope so. I'm
They
going to
do.
tell myself
They
they do.
do. They do. I know they do. Right, Philly?
Nobody misses
Like you?
me.
No.
So you're doing a lot of commercials. You do these films. Tell us, where do you find, a lot of people don't know where to look for a lot of commercials,
Yeah.
work, and things like that.
Or do you have an agent?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
not here.
Not here.
Because I'm in this bubble of like the 3-4 hour radius, I'm like, there's no need for representation or an agent for me because I'm not at the point right now in my life where I'm willing to travel outside of the Buffalo, Western New York
your
region.
Kids are little. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no point for me.
Right.
Look, when people are like, where are you getting your jobs? I'm like, Facebook.
Yes.
Facebook. And I feel like over the years of me getting to know agencies and directors and things like that, like I've kind of been in the position you have been, Phil, where
they reach out to you.
And that's the magic spot to be in, where it's just like, we've got this project, and if you're lucky, they don't even audition you. They're just like, we know what you do. Here's the info. Do you want it? And it's such an awesome spot to be in. That's not always the case, but it's really just, I've told some of the younger actors, actresses here when they're asking me that question, I say, I reach out. And I'm careful about it. I don't want to be annoying, but maybe once a year I'm reaching out to every agency within, X amount of miles, and I'm saying, I'm ready to work. Put me on your radar. Like, here's my new headshots. Hope to see you soon. And, sometimes that works. So, most of the time I don't hear back, but,
put it out there.
Yeah.
Who are the agencies? Like, I don't know them, so because I know very little about anything. But first of all, but especially this, I learn every time I'm doing something or talking with somebody. I always try and learn a little bit of what's going on in this Western New York film.
Yeah, you're like, give me all your secrets.
Yeah, we need some secrets.
I do.
I'm just gonna put a list right out. And just put it right.
We're gonna list them.
So I think some of the basic places where you're going to get some of the castings are Tamara, to Sue's, Casting Buffalo, Pan American Film Division. There are definitely others, but basically when I'm saying I'm reaching out to people, it's people who've directed commercials I've been in the past that I know are local. Greg Addo, Brandon Moran has worked on some things. It's hard to think off the top of my head.
Maria's got good connections.
Drop those
Let's
names.
just put
Maria.
it that way.
And it's not. It's
Taking
not
them all down.
where. Yeah, it's not where I'm like going out and I'm like, hey, here's all my stuff. Please hire me. It's like people that I've worked with, and I'm like, hey, I'm out here. Just reminding
I'm still
you.
available.
Yeah. Because I think after having a baby too, people are like, you're busy, and I'm like, yeah.
But I could fit squeeze a little something in there.
Get me out of my pajamas and
It's
on set.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the thing is, it's genuine too. And we talked about this a lot the past 2 weeks at ALC, is that, this whole idea of networking. And I think kind of there's this stigma of, like, I got to be ready to go and have my headshot on hand at all time. And it's not that. Just be a person, and maybe don't even talk about work. It's just genuinely have conversations with people and get to know, be interested in their projects because you actually care.
Yeah.
I think so much of this industry and many industries can become so transactional, where it's like, what can you offer me? And like, that's gross.
Yeah.
And it happens. I get it. People are hungry to work, and it is a small market here. And I know there's talks of it booming and it growing, and hopefully we see more of that in the next few years. But
hopefully.
Like, it really is just be yourself, be a damn pleasure to work with, and people will see you.
Yeah.
And, the more you audition for things, people get discouraged if they don't get called, but people are seeing your stuff. And maybe you're not right for a certain project, but you're going through 3-4 levels of screenings where people are saying, maybe not this one, but I'm going to save it for the next one.
Or they remember you from.
Absolutely.
I think that's what, going back to what you said about when you submit an audition, like if you don't have if you're not, taking time with the right lighting, the background, not that you have to spend a lot of money, like you said, but you have to put the effort in it, because they might see you next time and be like, or remember you, right? You know what I mean?
It happens all the time, all the time. And again, I'm one person, so I might be giving advice on like, here's what I would do, and someone's watching this and they're like, oh God, don't ever listen to her. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I'm going to listen to you, Maria.
You know what? You hear all these things, but to me, like, the audition is the work. If you book the gig, that's like the icing on the cake. But the getting auditions is really the work. Yeah. And you really, I don't really do it like, everybody says, well, you should be a little more serious. But like, I don't really look for like on Actors Access or Backstage, like the way I should, even though I'm on those things. But I think, I don't know if you look at it that, like, getting the gig is usually like I say, oh man, I got this, and okay, I got it. But I think finding auditions is really the hard work.
Yeah.
And getting that.
And that's something that I feel like I'm pretty in tune with, and like what's coming into the area. And I mean, it depends on how much you want to put yourself into it, but it comes in ebbs and flows, and like things are starting to pick up a little bit now. But like we've got our dry times of the year where it's like it'll be months, and I'm like not seeing anything pop up that I might fit for, and it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, I'm not willing to travel right now, so just kind of go with the flow.
I always say peaks and valleys, right, Philly?
Well, it is, and but I do well for myself because who am I? But I do a lot of unpaid stuff though too. I've done a couple of the Buff State things. I did a few of the. I've done an RI this year. I did for one of the young filmmakers at Kent State. I did her film, a couple of Buff States. I did a stage production, a musical. So I was kind of busy.
Yeah.
But the only paid thing I did was the 8 days on the set of that Bill's Holiday movie when I did the stand-in work.
Bill's Love Story,
which was really interesting because you're so you're like right with
close
the
right up
main
close to the
principals.
actors. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with the directors, and people are you're not just background. People are actually talking to you, and not the 20-year-old PA or somebody like that, you know. So it was that was
People
that
are
was
talking to Phil.
that was quite.
He's like, they see me.
Yeah,
they
really see me.
Well, it was. I mean, you know, I've never been to the Buffalo Filmworks to that soundstage there, and it was
awesome.
You know, being there for 5 days and things like that. And like you said, you do learn things and you network. And I don't be a pain in the ass, but you remember people, and that's how I think things have happened, and good things hopefully happen.
Yeah, and you just kind of see it on a different scale. I worked on that film as well, and I think the coolest thing about it, people are like, oh, you got to meet this person or that, and like that's great. But for me, it was like seeing a well-oiled machine at that scale was really amazing for me. I mean, I sat back and I'm just taking in the hundreds of people buzzing around like little ants. Just
It was crazy.
Yeah, and it was really awesome. And I mean, Buffalo's so lucky that. You know, I say lucky, but like I feel like we've earned this, you know. But like just to have something like that here, it holds a special place in my heart. But you mentioned about doing like student films and things like that, and I think with a lot of actors too, you got to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And there's some people who say, because I want to be a star, or there's other people who will say, it's just what I love. It's where I feel most alive. Or there's other people who are like, this is my economic engine. This is how I make money. So I always ask people who are just starting in this industry, like, why are you here? What do you want? And you mentioned like, well, I've taken unpaid jobs. And for some people, they can't afford to do that. But at the same time, if it's something you love enough, go make something regardless. And I think sometimes like the student films, it's like, well, it's just a student film. These are the up and comers in
I've been on some great ones. I tell you, they're so creative and they blow me away how young they are and the time and effort they spend and their writing and directing. It's crazy. Well, I love it.
I hope I didn't say it like that. Like they're just student films. No. But they are really good films and they're fun to do.
Yeah.
And because I really love doing it. I just love it. I mean, I love being on a set, and I love, you know, and they have some good stories.
Yeah.
And a lot of them that I've worked with are so organized.
Yeah.
And I did one, and the young guy wasn't. I said, listen, you have a good story here, but the worst thing you can be is unorganized and not know what you're going to do here. I said, you got to have everything ready to go for somebody like, not me, but anybody to walk in and work with you, because no one's going to want to work with you if you're not organized and have things coordinated together. But I've seen them, they're just so on the ball, and the stories are so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Anna Ruzik's, I did that Daisy, and that was a really good story that we did with Erica Fraze, who's been on our show too.
She's so talented.
And we did that one together. And Brandon, who's going to be on our show coming up. We did that one together, but it was a really good story, and I did it because of that.
Yeah.
And I love doing it, like you said. I love doing it.
Yeah.
And it let me ask you this: have you seen the experience of, it's not take whatever you can get, but doing these things to learn.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, like continue. And I was just going to ask.
You learn how to do lines.
Yeah.
You learn how to be in front of the camera, I think.
Absolutely. And you have to go in with that mindset of, I'm going to take something away from it regardless. Let's say it's the crappiest time you've ever had on a set. I walk away from that and I go, okay, if I'm ever in the position where I'm an AD or whatever, I won't do this next, like I experienced here.
Yeah.
There's always something to take away from it. And you just have to be deliberate about seeking those things out. So, if you love it enough, put yourself out there, see how people work, meet people, and it's fun. You're creating.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good collaboration?
And the other thing is, like you said, on these sets, like this Bill's Holiday movie that just came into town and finished, is like we were at that Buffalo Filmworks, and okay, there were the principal actors and 3 stand-ins, and the rest of the people were everybody else. They had like 100 people working.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's people, and like I said, people don't realize this industry in Buffalo employs a lot of people. I mean, from craft services to the makeup people to just all over the place. And that always astonishes me.
Yeah.
How many people are actually working? Electricians, carpenters, painters, just everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm just going, man, I'm like, the actors are so outnumbered.
It's incredible. It's very inspiring. And I went to the wrap party for that, and I'm walking around, and I'm just like taking those moments. It's like at my wedding where I stood back. I'm like, I just want to take this in. I don't know when this will happen again, but I'm like walking around, I'm just talking to people, and people that I've known from like 20 years ago that I'm like, wait, you worked on this? They're like, yeah, I did this and that. And I'm like, how cool. How cool for everyone to come together, and we're going to watch
Can
it.
you tell us what you did on set?
I was a day player. I had a day player role.
You did? Which one? Can you tell us?
Susan. She was, it was a one-liner, but I was super grateful to have it. So I had a scene with Matthew Daddario, and it was really
so
cool.
Fabulous! Congratulations!
Yeah, it was fun, and
You
like
were
I
in
said,
East Aurora doing?
We were right at Highmark. We were right in the offices at Highmark. The coolest thing about it was during our scene, it was a scene where the character of Gabe, Matthew Daddario, is giving his big speech about we're going to make this Highmark Stadium the best one ever. And we need to know, we need to remember all the work that went into this place. And I'm sitting at this table. They call me in and everyone's already seated. They're like, all right, we're ready to start shooting. And I'm looking around and, I'm like not seeing many people I recognize as far as the extras. And I'm like, oh, I thought I'd see more people from Buffalo. So I get talking to some of these people and I'm like, so, where do you work? Who have you worked with? And they're like, we're not actors. And I'm like, none of you are? And they're like, I think you're the only actor in this room other than like Matthew and maybe a couple people. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, we're all the architects for the new stadium. And I was like, are you kidding? Like, how cool? So I'm sitting at this big boardroom table. They've got all the real blueprints out for the new Highmark, the new stadium. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we're designing it. We're building it. We are working on the tile work and all of this. And I'm like, it felt like such an
So they were
honorable.
all in the movie.
They were all in the movie. And I was like so honored to be sitting amongst them. I'm like, thank you for what you're like. This is so cool. Yeah, it was awesome.
Congratulations. That's huge. She's from Buffalo, a Buffalo girl. Buffalo girl, day player. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, and they went all through casting Buffalo, right?
Yes.
They were all,
yeah.
They like
That
I
is
said,
so
I
exciting.
got
I can't
those.
wait till the movie comes out.
I got those 8 days, and I'm probably not even going to be in the credits or anything, but it was really
Phil,
good.
you had
8
so
days.
much fun though.
Who did you stand in for?
Joe Pantoliano.
Okay.
So we had, and Mira Sterner was his assistant.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, and quick little story. I go, Mira, I really want to get a picture, later this week with Joe. And she goes, just ask him. She goes, he's really a good guy. And he just asked. So anyway, we're at Buffalo. So we did the first 2 days at the stadium in that cold Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah.
And it was brutal. And then we did 5 days on the soundstage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I waited. And so we're at lunch, and Joe's sitting right across from me. And, he's asking questions, and we're talking. And he was a good guy, and everything. So later on in the day, he's walking out of the scene, and he's going to his trailer, and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "you couldn't ask me for that picture at lunch," because Mary had asked him.
You're like,
She
"I don't know."
goes, "You're such a chick," and I go, "Yes, I am a chick." And he goes, "Get them over here," and he puts his arm around me,
Yeah.
and I got the pictures with him. So
See, that's one of those things that like.
you don't want to bother him. They're working.
Yeah.
So I
Everybody's
worked on
working.
the Mario Lopez film as well, and I was in. I just a background for that, but we were on set with Mario all day, and I had a friend there who was just like, "I'm going up to him," and she's taking videos with him. And after the fact, I was like, "Oh, I don't have any pictures with him," and I was like. It's not me. Like I can't be that person. I feel
the
like
same.
If the opportunity comes up, sure. But like I'm like I know they're probably never gonna remember me, and they get this all the time. But I'm like I can't add to that.
Yeah.
So I just
Now she has all the pictures with Mario Lopez.
Oh
It was funny because in the Hallmark movie, the stars were so nice, and obviously they're Bills fans, and I just don't feel comfortable asking for. Wouldn't ask for a picture, but they were standing. The main co-star or the main star was standing right next to us. They were so nice. Yeah. People were going up to them because they're the Bills fans, obviously. Like, hey, can I get a picture with you? They're like, yeah, sure.
They were
I mean, they were just really.
Everybody
really nice, but I get
really
what you're
nice
talking about with the pictures, though.
Everybody, but it's like I don't want to ask this guy for a picture, but he was like,
because after all, they are working, right?
Yeah,
well, they
totally.
are working, and they were long days. I mean, that's the other thing people don't realize how long when you do these things. The days are 10, 12-hour days, and
for sure,
and they're at all hours. And I will tell you, the weather the first day on that Friday night was just horrible, and they were doing lines at midfield, and
it's a true Bills fan,
and
Billy.
You're prepared.
Joe was doing these lines at. Oh my God! I don't know how he did it with the wind and the rain coming sideways into his face, but that's acting.
It's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Job.
That's entertainment.
That's the
Sing
job.
it, girl. Yeah, and that's one thing. Like I didn't promote it too much that I had the day player role or one of them because, there's so many hardworking people here and so many talented people here. And I know there was like a lot of hope of being part of that. And at the same time, I think I'm in a wide shot. I got one line. I'm like, it's likely that won't make it. Who knows? Like, is it even going to be?
Matter, Maria. It's so freaking exciting. And we're so happy that it was you.
Oh, thank you.
You know, like that is super exciting.
We're coming to the end here, Maria. What else?
It's been such a joy.
What else? What else you want to tell our audience that you're working on, or where else we get to see you at ALC? You always have really good advice.
And we will see you at the 48
We'll see.
hours,
We'll
maybe.
see you at the 48.
I have a hard time saying no.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Our team's in Buff One Entertainment or Buff One Productions.
Yeah.
We're in again this year. We love doing I love doing the 48. And I really enjoy Jordan and his crew over there.
But I have to say, Phil, I've seen Maria on the 48 hour film Fabulous, and I've seen you on social media, and I finally today got a chance to meet you in person, and I was so excited. And let me just say this. Maria's skin, and I told her this, is absolutely flawless. Like, you have no idea. It's just flawless. And if she was selling a skincare line, I would be the first in line. You are absolutely stunning.
I just started dabbling in retinol.
I'm telling you, Maria, I'm going to be your first customer. Phil, your skin is so nice too. Okay.
Maria, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you,
Hold
Maria.
up that mug.
Tee it up. We got our new cups.
That's for our guests that are coming in. Those are our
you can have mugs. One too.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes. And we'll put all Maria's information up so people will know where to follow her as well on social media.
Absolutely. And thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you for watching Tee It Up with Phil and Cindy, episode number 12.
Tee it up.
It's in the can. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.